Hey guys, just a reminder, this is not official medical advice or such. Please seek an appointment with a licensed medical provider.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Dive Into Diet on Performance Medicine TV. As you can see here, if you're watching, I got nutrition coach Lucas Schmidt on the show with me today. He's drinking coffee, but of course he's not drinking coffee.
It's water. I mean, I will. Not that there's a problem with coffee, but
Is it water?
I'm a little dry. Yeah, it is water. Yeah.
Look at you, man. You're being healthy this morning.
I know.
But we're going to be talking about, we're recording this kind of close to Christmas, and we're going to try and upload this podcast close to Christmas to help as many people as possible. Lucas, what are we going into the Christmas season? What's top of mind for you?
So I wanted to do Christmas staples and things like that. Christmas dinner. Some people do their Christmas dinner Christmas Eve, but there's always a traditional kind of meal, usually similar to Thanksgiving, but there's some differences. Notably for my family, a difference is instead of a Christmas turkey, we'll do a beef dish. Like last year we did a standing rib roast, or like prime rib.
With a little horseradish?
No, we didn't do it that way, but all the other trimmings, it was on sale, so we got the prime rib. Prime rib is really expensive. So even when you buy it and make it yourself, it's terribly expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
But so the plan is for two of these episodes, so we'll do another one later on to follow up on this, I'm going to report card rank Christmas foods. Now, I should say in advance, this is all in good fun. This isn't to ruin your Christmas dinner. And maybe surprisingly from me, it's not, as a nutrition person, to tell you not to eat some junk food on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. I enjoy Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. I sort of set my rules aside, unless you have a food allergy, of course. Don't force down something you're allergic to. But I think it's okay every now and then, 3 times a year to take a little hiatus from your rules. But I am still gonna, it's interesting to know why I think certain Christmas foods are good to eat. You could eat a lot of if you want to go healthy, and then some, you probably will still eat a lot of, but you'll at least be aware of how bad it is for you.
So are we going over the bad stuff, or are we going over the things that could be good, or just all the above?
It's a mix. Okay. I'm just going to go through things that I know of and if I've missed something, feel free to throw it in. Or if anybody listening in this episode thinks I missed anything, I will tell you I've planned it for 2 episodes. Because I don't want to spend 30 minutes going through everything you're going to eat at Christmas. So, but if you think of something I missed in between now and when we release the next one, feel free to comment. But I think we'll cover the majority of staples. And if you, Ben, think of anything, just throw it at me. So let me start here.
Let's do it.
My first one I've listed is standing rib roast, because I'm going with the proteins first. It's usually turkey or beef for Christmas. I ranked it at an A. It's an A. It gets a rating of an A. And the reason is it's high in protein, which is great. The fat is fairly controllable by how you cut it, right? You can trim off fat. Now, there's some fat, of course, woven into them. But even then, when you buy the beef roast, there's usually a fat percentage, or you can look at marbling. It's really high in essential nutrients like choline, vitamin K, iron, vitamin B, and zinc. And it's low glycemic. So I give standing rib roast an A. Unless you're a vegan, then it's a F-, but I'm not a vegan, or vegetarian, I should say. But nutritionally, just cold hard measurement, it is an A.
Okay.
Next down the line is the Christmas turkey. I gave it a B+. I think it could be an A. The only reason I gave it a B+ is because the fat is harder to control. I'm not anti-fat at all. But if you're trying to watch calories and you're trying to be mindful and you want to eat a lot of something, let's go over the good, though. It's really high in protein, of course. It's high in essential nutrients like vitamin B, zinc, and phosphorus. And it's low glycemic. Great. The only negative is it's just slightly more difficult because in order to properly cook a turkey, well, I say properly because the way you got to put butter all over it and under the skin, and that's to keep it from drying out. Now, if you eat dry turkey, it's an A nutritionally, but flavor-wise, not going to be enjoyable. So I give turkey a B plus. Still really good score for that. Next is mashed potatoes.
I love mashed potatoes.
Yep, I gave it a D. So,
Thank you, Lucas.
you're welcome. A lot of thought went into this. It was painful to give it that score, but I have
That's
to
a
be
tough
objective.
score.
I have to be objective here. I can't be emotional. So it's a whole food, so that's a positive. But I put whole food in quotes because it's not saying much, because it's been peeled, it's been pulverized, it's been boiled, and it's been pulverized in the mixer if you use an electric beater to whip them up. It's low in nutrients, but it does contain trace. I made some notes so I don't forget, I don't want to be unfair to the food. So it contains trace vitamin B, but it's plant form, so it's not really that absorbable. It does contain potassium and magnesium, very little magnesium. And let's see. But I made a careful note here. Delicious for the soul. Keeps it from being an F.
Yeah, that's why it's not an F minus.
Yeah, it's often loaded with milk and butter, which is high in calories with little nutritional value, except a little bit of milk has some protein, but we're not pouring a glass of milk into the mashed potatoes. And there is trace vitamin D in the milk and the butter, so that's a positive. It's also the main reason it's a D, though, is that it's very high glycemically. It's a simple starch that you've cooked to death, and you just starch city, so your blood sugar is going to go up. So, and it's mixed with fat. It's mixed with tons of fat. So I'm not a fan of high fat, high carb at the same time. Generally, there may be exceptions in there, but generally. So, did you have a question?
The only I guess redeeming part of mashed potatoes, for me at least, is that I do tend to eat mashed potatoes with, a meat like a standing rib roast.
Yeah.
And so I would imagine that brings down the glucose spike.
Yeah.
But it's still probably a D.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to negotiate with someone on moving it up to a C minus or C if someone can make a good case for it. Feel free to do that in the comments. I love to eat my words if I'm wrong, because it means I'm learning. So if you've got something I've missed about mashed potatoes that make it more redeeming than I thought, throw it in there. I'm not going to be embarrassed.
I love it.
I'd love to admit I'm wrong because I love mashed potatoes. So next is cranberry sauce from a can. You know what I'm talking? Oh, you're making whoa. So let me tell you my score first.
I'm not a cranberry sauce guy.
Well, you're probably need to see a psychiatrist and get medicated. I'm just kidding. I love it. It's delicious. The trashy, cheap can just slides out of the can onto the thing. It's like gelatiny. I gave it a score of amazing F. So it's
our
amazing,
lowest
though.
one so far.
It's it's amazing though. I did write that. So the reason I think it's an F is it's mostly corn syrup. Okay, most of them are. Now you could probably go out there. I'm going to exclude the super expensive organic, magical canned. I'm talking about classic trashy canned cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
That every Thanksgiving and Christmas table needs to have. It's mostly corn syrup. It's very high glycemic. The trace cranberries may offer a minuscule amount of antioxidants, but again, it's mostly not real cranberry. And it is required at any sane person's table for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
Highly processed and mostly sugar. So
that F is probably not going to keep it off
nor should
the
it.
dinner tables.
No, I'm a supporter of the cheap $1.50 cranberry sauce. Next we have, that's all I have to say about it because I don't want to insult it for too long. Next we have pumpkin pie. Okay. I wrote also amazing. I gave it an F plus. So it's not an F minus or an F. It's an F plus. It's almost a D.
You have pumpkin pie ahead of cranberry sauce.
I did. Well, fake cranberry sauce. See.
Fake cranberry sauce. Okay.
The reason pumpkin pie, let's go over the bad. It's high glycemic. It's high calorie because it's cream, sugar, and butter mostly. It is low in essential nutrients, but here's why it doesn't get a full-on F. Pumpkin itself is low glycemic, the fruit, and it contains vitamin D. And beta carotene, which is why it's orange. So beta carotene, vitamin A. So plant vitamin A, I should say. So that's good. That's actually really good. I'm sure there's a low glycemic version of pumpkin pie that's more natural and more pure pumpkin. And pumpkin pie has a lot of pumpkin in it. So there is that. Maybe I should give it a D or a D minus. I'd easily do that. It's hard to get past the puff pastry crust. That's just fat and wheat. And it's hard to get past the extra sugar and cream you add. Fat and sugar together. No bueno.
So you're saying it'd be better for me if I didn't eat the crust with it? So if I just did the...
No, it wouldn't be better for you because it's insane. You have to eat the crust. Nutritionally, yes. Nutritionally, yes.
It
would be better for you to just eat the filling.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it would be bad for you because that's dumb. No, nutritionally, yes, it would be better for you. Because what vitamin content is in the pie is actually in the orange part. So that's why it's orange, which is kind of cool. So, and the cinnamon that you put in there, cinnamon can help blunt insulin spikes, but that cinnamon's getting its butt kicked by the sugar that's in that pie.
It's definitely overmatched.
It's like trying to put out a forest fire with a teacup. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, those are the foods I've got for this episode. So.
All right.
Did you have any rebuttals or concerns about my ratings?
The only one that really did throw me off a little bit is the mashed potatoes. I guess I kind of knew. I didn't think they would get. Was it a D?
A D. Yeah.
That's a low grade.
It is a low grade. If they were mashed sweet potatoes, I'd get a C.
Even the ones with like the marshmallows in them?
No, just mashed sweet potatoes. Which who does that? I mean, I've had them and they're good, but people don't do that generally.
No. No, I love that list, Lucas. That's you got my mouth watering with that standing rib roast.
Good old prime rib.
I mean, you do not get better than that. Do you have an issue with gravy on top of the turkey or the rib roast?
Depends on how you make the gravy. Nutritionally, okay. If you're just using the juice from the meats, not necessarily. It's probably just some fat and salt, and maybe herbs, the oils or flavors from the herbs. But if you make a roux, which is flour and butter in a skillet, that's how you make a proper gravy. You take butter, melt it, put flour in it to brown it, and once it's brown, you add in your juice from the beef or the turkey, and that's actually traditional gravy. That's not the greatest for you. It's not the worst. There's not a ton of flour. You're just increasing the fat content mostly. But gravy itself, there's better things to eat. So I'll think of that gravy. I'll rate that on the next episode.
We'll talk about gravy, guys. Yeah. Stay tuned, Lucas. I think that's a pod, man.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Don't go away.